Three cheap SUVs everyone ignores, but these three SUVs are absolute gold mines. Right now, there are three SUVs sitting on dealer lots that are practically invisible to the average buyer. I see people fighting over RAV4 hybrids, paying $5,000 over sticker price for a Telluride, or taking out 84-month loans on a Pilot, completely ignoring the gold mines parked right next to them. These aren't project cars. These aren't obscure European models that will bankrupt you the moment the warranty expires. I'm talking about three specific vehicles that offer better reliability, better features, and significantly better driving dynamics than the best sellers, all for thousands of dollars less. Why are they cheap? Because the market is emotional and car buyers follow the herd. After 2 decades of fixing cars, I've learned that the best values are found where nobody is looking. When a car doesn't have the hype, the price drops, but the engineering doesn't change. You get the same nuts, bolts, and steel for a fraction of the cost. I've watched customers stretch their budgets to the breaking point for a badge, while I'm driving home in something that's mechanically superior and cost me half as much. Today, I'm breaking down the 3 most ignored SUVs that mechanics are quietly buying for their wives and husbands. We're talking about a Honda that outtows its siblings, a Kia that exploits a market loophole to save you massive cash, and a Toyota that is literally a luxury car in disguise. I'm going deep on number 1 because it is, without a doubt, the smartest purchase you can make in the current market. Number 3 is the middle child of the Honda lineup, and it suffers from an identity crisis that works entirely in your favor. Most people walk into a Honda dealership with a binary mindset. They either want the small gas-sipping CR-V or the massive family-hauling Telluride. They walk right past the Honda Passport. The Passport, specifically the models from 2019 to now, is the most misunderstood vehicle in the Honda stable. People look at it and think, oh, it's just a big CR-V. Wrong. Or they think it's a Pilot missing a row of seats. Also wrong. What this actually is a shortened, lifted, and more aggressive Pilot that hasn't been neutered for the minivan crowd. I had a guy come in about 6 months ago looking at a 2020 CR-V. He wanted something for camping, maybe towing a small fishing boat, but he needed a daily driver. The dealer wanted $28,000 for a CR-V with 50,000 miles. I told him to walk across the lot to a 2020 Passport sitting in the back corner. Same year, similar miles, priced at $26,500. He asked me why he should buy the bigger gas guzzler. I popped the hood. In the CR-V, you've got a 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder. It's a fine engine, but it's working hard. In the Passport, you have the J35Y6 3.5-liter V6. That is Honda's legendary naturally aspirated V6. It pushes 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It's the same engine they trust in the Ridgeline pickup and the Odyssey van. It's bulletproof. But the real secret sauce here is the chassis. The Passport rides on Honda's heavy-duty light truck platform. It shares its bones with the Ridgeline. That means it's built to take a beating that would snap a CR-V in half. You get legitimate ground clearance, over 8 inches, and significantly better approach and departure angles than the Pilot. The AWD system isn't the slip and grip garbage you find on most crossovers. It's Honda's iVTM4 torque vectoring all-wheel drive. It can send 70% of the power to the rear wheels and then 100% of that power to either the left or right wheel. I've taken these things through mud and snow that would strand a Highlander. The market ignores it because it sits in a weird size bracket. It doesn't have the third row that parents think they need, but it's too big for the city commuters. That lack of demand means you can negotiate. If you are looking at one, here is the mechanics checklist. First, listen to the transmission. The 2019 and some of the 2020 models use the ZF 9-speed automatic. Early on, the software programming made the shifts feel jerky, specifically from second to third gear. Honda issued a software update that largely fixed it, but you want to make sure it's been done. If it shifts hard, it's not broken, it just needs a flash. Second, check the timing belt record. This is a V6, not a chain-driven 4-cylinder. You need to change that belt every 100,000 miles or 7 years. It's an interference engine. If that belt snaps, your valves are meeting your pistons and your engine is trash. A timing belt job runs about $1,200 at a good independent shop. Use that as a bargaining chip if the car is nearing 90,000 miles. Finally, look at the infotainment connectors. There was a recall for the bus connectors behind the dash, causing audio cutting out or screens going black. Most have been fixed under warranty, but double-check the VIN. The math on the Passport is undeniable. You are getting a vehicle that can tow 5,000 pounds, while the CR-V struggles with 1,500. You get a V6 that will easily run 250,000 miles if you just change the oil and do the timing belt. And you're paying less than you would for a smaller, weaker car just because this one doesn't have a specific identity in the market. It's the best adventure vehicle nobody's buying. But if the Passport is a hidden gem, this next SUV is a goldmine created by mass hysteria. Number 2 allows you to profit from a bad reputation that doesn't even apply to the car you're buying. The Kia Sorento, specifically the 2016 to 2020 models equipped with the V6, is the king of reputation arbitrage. Here is the situation. Kia and Hyundai ruined their reputation with the Theta 2 4-cylinders. Those engines were a disaster. They had machining debris left in the oil passages, they seized up, they caught fire, millions were recalled. It was a nightmare. Because of that, the average consumer hears used Kia Sorento and runs for the hills. The resale value of every Sorento from that era tanked, regardless of what was under the hood. And that is where you win. The 3.3-liter Lambda 2 GDI V6 found in the upper trim Sorentos has nothing to do with the 4-cylinder disaster. It's a completely different architecture. It's a tank. I see these V6 Sorentos roll into the shop with 180,000 miles, 200,000 miles, running smooth as silk. The only thing they need is oil and spark plugs. I had a single mom come in last year. She was terrified of buying a used car because she had limited funds and couldn't afford a breakdown. She had a budget of $18,000 and was looking at high-mileage Toyota Highlanders with cloth seats and zero options. I showed her a 2017 Sorento SXL V6. It had 75,000 miles on it. This thing was fully loaded. Nappa leather, heated and cooled seats, panoramic sunroof, 360-degree camera, an infinity sound system. The sticker price? $17,500. A comparable Highlander with those features and miles would have been $26,000. Easy. She asked me what's wrong with it. I told her nothing. It's just a Kia. She bought it. I've seen that car for 3 oil changes since then. She spent $0 on repairs. The value proposition here is insane. You are buying a car that competes with the Lexus NX in terms of features for the price of a base model Ford Escape. The chassis on this generation Sorento is incredibly solid. It's quiet, it's stable at 80 miles per hour, and that V6 puts out 290 horsepower. It moves. However, you have to be smart. You cannot, I repeat, cannot buy the 2.4-liter or the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder versions. Those are the engines with the issues. You must verify it's the V6. Pop the hood. If you see 3 cylinders on the front bank, you're good. Here is the inspection checklist for the V6 Sorento. First, check the door latches. For some reason, Kia had a batch of exterior door handles that would get stiff or refuse to open the door from the outside. It's an easy fix, but annoying. Second, listen to the AC compressor. If it sounds like a box of rocks when you turn on the air conditioning, the clutch is going out. It's a few $100 to fix, but you want to catch it before you buy. Third, head bolts. This is rare, but on very early builds of this engine, there were some reports of head bolts stripping threads if the engine was severely overheated. Check the coolant reservoir. If it looks like chocolate milkshake, walk away. But again, on the 2016 to 2020 models, this is very uncommon if the car was maintained. The depreciation on these is insulting to the engineering. You can pick up a 2018 Sorento LX V6 with under 80,000 miles for around $13,000 to $14,000 right now. That is theft. You're getting a 7-passenger SUV that is reliable, powerful, and safe for the price of a used Corolla. Who should buy this? Families who need space but refuse to pay the Toyota tax. Anyone who likes luxury features but doesn't care about brand snobbery. If you want the most car for your dollar, this is it. Just make sure you see V6 on the engine cover. Now we arrive at number 1. This is the one I get excited about. This is the vehicle that I am actively telling my own family members to buy right now before the market wakes up. It is the absolute best combination of reliability, luxury, and efficiency on the road today. Number 1 is the Toyota Venza Hybrid, specifically the 2021 to 2024 models. This car is a ghost. Toyota brought it back in 2021 as a hybrid-only model, didn't market it well, and then announced they were killing it off again after 2024 to make room for the Crown Signia. That discontinuation is the best thing that could happen to you as a buyer. Here is the reality of the Venza. It is a Lexus without the L badge. I'm not saying that as a figure of speech. I mean it mechanically and structurally. The Venza shares the TNGA-K platform with the RAV4 and the Lexus NX. But unlike the RAV4, which can feel a little tinny and loud on the highway, the Venza was engineered for a different demographic. Toyota packed this thing with sound-deadening material. The floor, the wheel wells, the acoustic glass. It is library quiet inside. When you shut the door, it has that solid thunk you expect from a German car, not a mass-market Toyota. Under the hood, you have the A25 AFXS 2.5-liter four-cylinder hybrid system. This is the same powertrain used in the RAV4 hybrid and the Camry hybrid. It is, in my professional opinion, the best hybrid powertrain in the world right now. It uses an eCVT, which isn't a belt-driven garbage transmission like Nissan uses. It uses planetary gears. It's mechanically simple and incredibly durable. I have seen these powertrains go 300,000 miles in taxis in New York City. The goldmine factor here is the comparison. Right now, everyone wants a RAV4 hybrid. The demand is so high that used ones are selling for nearly the price of new ones. A 2021 RAV4 Hybrid Limited with 40,000 miles is listing for $33,000 to $35,000. It's ridiculous. A 2021 Venza XLI with the same miles? You can find them for $28,000 to $30,000. You are saving $3,000 to $5,000 to get a car that is objectively better built, rides softer, has a nicer interior, and looks more sophisticated. The interior of the Venza puts the RAV4 to shame. Soft-touch materials everywhere, a massive center console, and seats that feel like they were ripped out of a Lexus ES. And you're getting 40 mpg in a mid-size AWD SUV. That is mechanic math that works. Why do people ignore it? Cargo space. That's the one complaint. Because of the sloping coupe-like roofline, you lose a few cubic feet of storage in the trunk compared to the boxy RAV4. If you regularly move washing machines, maybe that matters. For 99% of people buying groceries and strollers, it's irrelevant. I had a customer, a real estate agent, looking for a Lexus NX because she wanted to impress clients. She didn't want a regular Toyota. I showed her the Venza. She sat in it, drove it, and couldn't believe it was a Toyota. She bought a top trim Limited with the Stargaze panoramic roof. That's the glass that turns from clear to frosted with a button press. And she saved $10,000 over the Lexus she was looking at. When you are shopping for a Venza, there is one major thing to check. It's the cable gate issue. On the AWD hybrids from Toyota, there is a high voltage cable that runs to the rear electric motor. The connector on this cable has a tendency to corrode if the car is driven in heavy salt states. Toyota extended the warranty on this to 100,000 miles, and they redesigned the connector for the newer models. Crawling under the rear of the car and looking at that orange cable connection is worth your time. If you see blue crusty corrosion, tell the dealer to fix it or walk. If it's clean or has the new open-style cover, you are golden. Other than that, the maintenance is laughable. Oil changes every 5,000 miles. Do not listen to the 10,000-mile recommendation. Stick to 5,000 if you want to keep it forever. Inverter coolant loop service at 100,000 miles. Brake pads will last you 70,000 to 100,000 miles because the regenerative braking does most of the work. The Venza is the smartest buy in the crossover segment. It offers Lexus comfort, Toyota reliability, and Prius efficiency, all for a price that is suppressed because Toyota decided to stop making it. So there you have it. 3 SUVs that defy the current market madness: the Honda Passport, the off-road sleeper, the Kia Sorento V6, the luxury bargain, and the Toyota Venza, the discontinued masterpiece. You now have the knowledge to walk onto a lot and look past the shiny rows of overpriced bestsellers to find the cars that will actually serve you and your bank account. Stop paying for marketing and start paying for engineering. If you want to know which trucks share this same indestructible but ignored status, or which used cars you should absolutely never buy, I've got videos on those too. Subscribe if you want to keep your money in your pocket and your car out of my shop. I'll see you in the next one. Drive safe.